Hello, dear friends. Great is truth, but even greater is the silence about truth. Aldous Huxley. Opinion piece. From Pisces to Aquarius. More transparency. Don't expect secrets. End of the old order. Key transition in 2026. Expect massive change. Awakening in April and July. The unknown will be revealed. Let's start. If you have noticed the world seems polarized lately, you are not alone. From politics to the weather, it may seem that humanity is having a hard time coexisting. According to Line Rollo, while these times can leave you feeling discouraged, the good news is that the polarization is due to us going through a transition from one astrological age to another, or era instead of age. And the next period promises to be one of greater awareness, compassion, and enlightenment. Don't expect secrets. The age of Aquarius is a period of transparency. Access to information gave you power in the age of Pisces, or in the era of Pisces. And because it wasn't really readily available, you could conceal your actions and behavior. It was easier to get away with things. In this new era, information is accessible to everyone, and every human being is subject to scrutiny. Actions can be tracked. Behavior is recorded and shared. Since access to information is universal, who you are as a human being will matter more than ever. Are you a person of integrity? Living in harmony with your higher self will be more important than ever. But access to information alone won't be enough, because this era demands true wisdom. The era of Aquarius is a time of great complexity, as it shifts our sense of personal identity and our very foundations. Advances are expected in all areas, including scientific discoveries, technological breakthroughs, and social transformation. On an individual level, change and learning will be constant and lifelong. Technology will pave the way for radical lifestyle changes. We are entering a completely new world. The world you entered will not be the same one you leave. Change is key, and those who remain flexible will be the ones who thrive. Reset news. When society collapses, it does so with an abandonment of normalcy. According to Ariel, the Cabal wanted a Frankenstein version of the New World Order, where you would be ruled by draconian laws and have no way to escape their control. Governments teeter on the brink of collapse following the declassification of the Epstein case, according to the Storm Rider. The release of more than 3 million Epstein documents triggered resignations and accusations against the European political elite. David Icke says the Epstein cult is just one small piece of the puzzle. He argues that behind these networks are non-human entities that paralyze consciousness, feeding on fear, trauma, and suffering. Juan Osavin states that we are lost in the undergrowth for the next 90 to 120 days. Things could get very strange for a while, and false flag operations are possible. We are in process of putting the monsters back in their box. Economy. The Dow Jones reaches a historic 50,000 points. Bitcoin rebounds 10% and recovers the $70,000 mark. cryptocurrencies fear Wash's arrival at the Feds. The fascination with cryptocurrencies shows no signs of fading. Central Asia grows by more than 6% in 2025 and surpasses advanced economies. YouTube earns more than Netflix, and it ranks among the most valuable companies. The BRICS confirm that more than 40 countries are ready to integrate into their gold-backed payment system. Central banks are stockpiling physical gold for a global operation. USA. Trump launches a website to buy cheaper medicines. 5 states are considering eliminating the homeowners tax. Laura Trump believes President Trump is preparing to reveal the existence of extraterrestrials. Trump gives the green light to the disclosure of secret UFO bases hiding crashed ships and non-human bodies. Iran and the US began negotiations in Oman amid tensions. The US imposes more sanctions on Iranian oil after negotiations. Iran refuses to end uranium enrichment in negotiations. The US has more than 450 Tomahawk missiles deployed in the Middle East. Russia is open to negotiating a new disarmament treaty with Trump, but China refuses. China is making progress on a microwave weapon to interfere with the Starlink network. China unveils its flying aircraft carrier straight out of Star Wars. The Mighty Dragon takes off, a new Chinese stealth fighter that redefines aerial combat. Europe. European dependence on Russian and American gas exceeded 80% in January. Germany backtracks on a high-profile censorship case. Germany strengthens its counterintelligence capabilities in response to increased Iranian espionage. Russia and Ukraine agreed to a prisoner exchange. Attempted assassination of Russia's deputy defense minister. The Council of Europe urges a ban on sexual orientation change efforts in 46 countries. Oxford scientists achieved teleportation using a quantum supercomputer. This milestone is the first step towards creating a quantum internet. Freddie Potten criticizes Europe's 28th state, a plan to create special rules where corporations have more power than citizens and the national laws. They call it aid for startups, but in reality it gives total power to money and corporations. Europe would lose popular sovereignty to a technocracy where money decides, disguised as innovation in the midst of a crisis. Freddie Ponton criticizes Europe's, this is a repetition, Spain. Housing prices in Spain rose 9.5% in 2025. Spain's major banks earned 7% more in 2025. The IBEX 35 closes a very volatile week with a gain of 0.35%. Storm Leonardo subsides after leaving 11,000 people displaced in Andalusia. Tourists visiting the Basque Country will have to pay 7.5 euros per day starting in 2027. China's container traffic at the port of Valencia is double that of the US. Spain plans to verify internet users' identities with facial recognition. A Carthaginian war elephant bone discovered near Cordoba. Americas. 7 heads of state pledged a more united continent at the Latin American and Caribbean Economic Forum. Mexico, Brazil and Chile support Michelle Bachelet for UN Secretary General. Mexico will increase investment in Pemex by more than 30% this year. Venezuela's National Assembly approves the amnesty law in its first reading. Venezuela will hold a national referendum to reform its justice system. Maria Corina Machado believes there could be elections in Venezuela in less than a year. Colombia and Ecuador are engaged in ongoing dialogue to overcome their differences. January was the deadliest month in Colombia in the last 3 years. The ruling party candidate Laura Fernandez is leading in the Costa Rica elections. China warns Panama that it will pay a high price for suspending contracts. Cuba is experiencing a week marked by political tension, power outages and low temperatures. Mexico is preparing a shipment of humanitarian aid to Cuba. Sheinbaum says Mexico will send humanitarian aid to Cuba no later than Monday. Díaz-Canel says Cuba is willing to engage in dialogue with the US without pressure. Huge storms paralyzed Japan and caused the first frost in Cuba. Snowstorms, The Bolivian economy is taking on more debt to escape recession. More than 45,000 hectares devastated by fires in Argentine Patagonia. Milei announces he will avoid resorting to external debt to pay interest. Controversy in Argentina over the change to the inflation index. Milei backtracks on updating the inflation measurement in Argentina. Era of Light argues that Milei's chainsaw economic model has achieved some macroeconomic stabilization, but at the cost of an stagnant economy, plummeting consumption, deindustrialization, and increasing sale of the country's territory and resources. And that's all for today. Thanks a lot, dear friends.